top of the morning, and it is a beaut.
And the hope of the Irish as the future champion of the world.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio.
Welcome to the Barry J. McDonald podcast. The place where dreams get dusted off and acted on. Because life is too short. We're living on a rock that's flying through space, and hey, what the hell else were you going to do with yourself here?
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. Now today I'm going to give you 5 tips that you can use to boost your confidence. Because we all could do with a confidence boost every so often. You know, some days you're up, some days you're down, some days you feel great, some days you think you suck. You know, some days I think I am the greatest thing that happened to the internet, in my head anyway, and some days I think I am the worst thing that ever happened to it. And some days, honestly, I could just take this phone and I could just sling it as far as I could and never turn it on again. So thankfully you got me on a good day today. So let's kick it off with the first tip. The first tip I would say to you is stop comparing yourself to other people. Because the comparison game is a game you will never win. Because no matter how good you are, there's always someone who is lighter than you, taller than you, wealthier than you, better looking than you, has more money, skills, talents, whatever. There's always somebody who has more than what you have right now. So when you think about it, if it is a game that you're never going to win, why play it? But yet we still do it. What I would say to you is, you can't really compare yourself with other people because, as I've said many times on this podcast here, we've all been dropped in random places all over the world. We've been dropped into random bodies, we've been dropped into random countries, random families, random life experience, random skills, random talents. So really, I can't compare myself to you, you can't compare yourself to me, because we're completely different. And you will find sometimes the people you're comparing yourself to could have years of experience on you. You know, some of them might be just genetically have the talent that you don't have. So if you are comparing yourself to someone, what I would say to you is, instead of comparing yourself like for like, how about using them as motivation, inspiration, have them as the carrot leading you forward and not the stick to beat yourself up with. Now the second thing I would say to you is something I learned from the great Ed Milet, and that is keep promises to yourself. You know, I found over this past couple of months, as I've kept promises to myself, I feel better about myself. You know, even if the day didn't go well, I can look back on my day in the evening time and say, Barry, well, you said you were going to do that thing. You did that thing. The thing got done. That was a good day. And I would say to you that, you know, even the task that you take on doesn't have to be huge. But when you start doing it regularly, it's almost like marking X's on a calendar. You know, you find that you build momentum. You feel better about yourself. You feel more confident. You actually feel that you deserve success when you start to see how much work you're putting in. So, you don't have to pick a big task. You know, it could be maybe just creating a couple of social media images today. It could be just picking up the phone, doing a 5-minute podcast every day. It could be doing a video. It could be writing a blog post. It could be something small. But make sure that if you are giving yourself a task, that you keep your promise. Because when you do start to keep promises to yourself, you realise that you're dependable. You know, that you can depend on you. Even if the whole world, you know, doesn't help you out, doesn't give you any, you know, assistance at all. You know that when the chips are down, you can depend on you. You know that you can ask yourself to do the thing gets done, and it's done. And you feel better about yourself. Now, the third thing I would say to you is work on your health. Because I think if there is anything that will make a big difference in your business, in your confidence, is working on your health. Because really, when you think about it, if you're tired all the time, if you're out of shape, if you don't have much energy, do you really think you're going to have a great business? Do you really think you can put much into it? You know, if you haven't got much energy in yourself, you can't really put much energy into your business. And you'll never be able to catch up on those people that you're trying to catch up on. You'll never be as good as them because you'll always be too tired. You'll always be lethargic. You'll always be, you know, not able to show up as often. And you will find as well too, just like keeping promises to yourself, when you start exercising, again, you mightn't notice in your business. You mightn't have a productive day. But I've noticed that on days when I've gone for a run on the treadmill, you know, done some exercises, I still feel better I still feel better about myself in the evening time, knowing that I've done that thing. I've improved my health even a small bit. I've gained a little bit of energy. Now, I'd also say to you, not just your physical health you should think about. You should also think about your mental health. It's not only just the things that you're putting in your mouth. What are you putting in your head? What books are you reading? What magazines are you reading? Who are you listening to? That makes a big, big difference to you as well too. Because if you listen to people who have no confidence in you, who are putting you down, demeaning you, if you're just reading gossip magazines and celebrity magazines, just full of just candy fluff, nonsense in it, you really think you're really helping yourself. You're not. So work on your mental health and your physical health, and you will find over time that will make a big difference, and you'll actually be able to put more energy into your business because of it. Now, the fourth thing I would say to you is work on learning new skills. I've found over the years that as I've learned how to do different things, I feel better about myself. Now, some of these skills I'll never use, but because I know that I have that in my toolbox, there could be some time that it will be useful for me. So, whatever skill you would like to learn something, even if it isn't part of your business, because you will feel better about yourself, and you never know, it could come up, and you might learn something from that skill that you can actually use in your business. Maybe some way of doing things that none of us are doing it right now, because we don't know, we've never done that thing that you are going to do. Sometimes the greatest ideas you can get are from outside your business. You might find something in the gym that makes you look at your business a new way. Create content this way, or do videos that way, or learn some tips or tricks or whatever that you can use. So always be on the lookout for developing skills, because I know myself, when you've got more tools in your toolbox, you feel better about yourself. You feel more confident about yourself. So learn more skills. And the last thing I would say to you is go easy on yourself. We're all human at the end of the day. A feeling of confidence sometimes is just down to maybe the chemicals in our brain. Sometimes it can be down to whatever we've eaten that day, how much sleep we've had. Some days our body cycle is up, some days it's down. And I know sometimes that, on low days where I just don't feel confident in myself, sometimes I look at my work and I just hate it. I just want to hit the delete button. I want to walk away from it. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm in a negative mindset. And when you're in a negative mindset, you'll never look at anything positively. You'll always find the flaws. You'll always find the mistakes. You'll always find the things that are wrong with it. And then some days you go back the next day when you're not feeling as negative, and because you're looking at it through positive eyes, you can actually see, well, it wasn't that bad. I can tidy up this piece. I can delete that part. I can improve this bit. Or you might find maybe that piece is just pretty good, and there's nothing needs to be done to it. But because you were in a negative mindset, that's all the thing you could see. You could just see all the negative parts of it. So go easy on yourself. Really, we are humans at the end of the day, and sometimes we are up, sometimes we are down, and sometimes the smallest things can just knock our confidence. But if you just remember some of the tips I've given you in this podcast, I hope it will help you, because, you mightn't be as bad as you think you are. You're just looking at things negatively. So go easy on yourself today. Treat yourself well today. And if you are having a bad day, tomorrow really is a new day. And you might find that when you look back at your work, it mightn't be as bad as you think it is right now. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye. Would you like to know how I went from being a lowly shelf stacker, depressed, no confidence in himself, and how I went from that to becoming a popular children's author, and then on to even greater things, recording and selling my own digital products? If you'd like to find out how I did it, and if you would like to do the same yourself, if you head over to Writecom, that's WRITECOME.com, you'll find a great free report over there, which is called the Online Business Manifesto. And in that report, I'm going to show you the journey I went on from the beginning to where I am right now. And I'm going to show you the 3 business secrets I learned along the way. Now, these secrets aren't secrets that most people talk about. Some people don't even realize that they exist. So if you head over to Writecom, download the free report, you are going to be miles ahead of everyone else who has an online business. Have a lovely day, and I hope you enjoy this episode.